All right, thank you, Casey. It's all about Jayden Daniels.
Yes, correct.
For the Washington Commanders. I was doing my little show prep early this morning, and I saw B. Mitch interviewed by TMZ Sports yesterday.
Very good. Look at B. Mitch with the glow up.
And the headline, "The sky is the limit," from B. Mitch. He says, if he keeps leading like this, he can get this town, this state, this area, everybody around. He can feed them from his hands. And, of course, as I always do, I was listening to Kimes Pod as I was driving in this morning, and he interviewed my guy, Jay Gruden, who I love. I think we all love Jay.
Mm-hmm.
And, by the way, Jay is so, over the Snyder thing now that he's even he's referring to himself as we with the Commanders. It's funny because I think of Jay.
And he never did that before.
Well, not when Dan was there. He was still bitter and stuff. But now that the Snyder era is sort of gone, he's, really embracing him again. And, it's funny. I remember him, with the Bucks. I think he wasn't he? Didn't he work for his brother with the Bucks? And then I think he was on Hard Knocks when the Bengals were maybe associated with it or something. I can't remember.
Only been the head coach of one team, though.
Only the head coach of one team. But he's all in on the.
He was a consultant with I thought it was with the Rams.
Maybe with McVay one year.
Yeah.
And he lives here.
Well, he
half
lives
the time.
He's got a place in Jacksonville as well. He's back and forth.
Yeah, but he's just still, he's still locked in.
Mm-hmm.
He watches all the games every weekend, and he's all in on Jayden too. And he, John, of course, was asking him about him, and I mean, he said right now he thinks he's a top 4 quarterback in the league. He said he thinks that Jayden is obviously an MVP candidate, but he put him up there as a top 4 quarterback. He talked all about, sort of just all of his skills, and he asked him to find a weakness, and he said, now I could if I had to really nitpick, the only thing he could come up with is he might not have Josh Allen's arm strength. He's got plenty of arm strength, but he might not have a missile.
But he doesn't need to have the strongest arm in the league.
And he said, trust me, I'm really nitpicking.
His arm looks plenty strong.
Yeah, he says it's plenty good enough.
5 games.
Yeah, it's plenty.
No, he said it's plenty good enough. But, I mean, if there's anything, he said, obviously, he'll pick you apart. He said, I was a little concerned after the first week or two. I didn't know if he would throw guys open and make those progressions and make those throws downfield. He said, but I think Cliff was just bringing them along slowly, which was fine. He says, I have none of those concerns anymore. If you rush him, he's just, he's going to sidestep the defender and then go for 34 yards down the sideline. It's just sky's the limit. No reason why they can't win 11, 12, 13 games. I think he said that last week.
He's actually said 10, 11, 12, or 13.
Yeah. And then
That's
he
a
said,
good range.
I like
that
his
is a good range.
Yeah.
And then he said, there's no reason why they can't win the NFC East. He said, Dak's always going to make 1 or 2 kind of mental mistakes during the game. Philly is in turmoil, and you already beat the Giants once.
The Giants.
Although Daniel Jones is playing better than
the Giants are playing better now.
think.
Obviously, they went out to Seattle and won. Philly, turmoil just because of the injuries, yeah.
A.J. Brown's just going to be back on Sunday, and I think Devontae was practicing
Smith
too.
Is going to be back.
Yeah,
too.
so he'll get both his. That'll be the first time, right? Or maybe the second. Maybe opening day they had both of them. But I think Brown got hurt and missed week 2.
Yep.
Now, Cakes, this is from a Raiders blog.
All right.
But it's regarding the Commanders. The pack is thinning. I think we talked about this a little yesterday. In the Davante Adams pursuit, the Chiefs, Commanders, Ravens, they're all out on Davante.
Okay.
Are the Raiders open to retaining him? That's now where are they back in square one?
Does that just mean the trade interest is tepid and they're not getting back in return what they're hoping for?
Yes.
Yeah, they're not going to trade him for nothing.
Right.
Yeah.
They made a quarterback switch. Maybe Davante Adams likes Aiden O'Connell better than he likes Gardner Minshew.
I'd have to look at what
Or
he
maybe
did
they're just not getting the offers they thought they would get.
I'm sure that's part of
like
it.
you said, they're just not going to give him away.
Right.
Right?
He's under contract.
That's right. I mean, if he wants to get paid, he's got to play.
So this is interesting, too. I don't know if you guys caught this, but John Allen's appearance on the show this week caught the attention of the longtime beat writer of Cleveland, Mary Kay Cabot, who's been on the show before through the years.
Okay.
Long time. She's like the John Keim of the Browns, right? Covering them forever. John, when he came on the show, he's quoted here in her article in the, I think it's the Cleveland Plain Dealer. Not sure. I think so. Yeah. She said, remember when John said, if I'm being honest, talking about Deshaun, he looked like a player who's had stuff going on above his shoulders. It's definitely a confidence thing that's going on. I always tell people, doesn't matter how great a player you are, if you don't have confidence, you're not a good player. And then he backed off a little bit, said, look, I don't know what's going on, but that's just what he was
opinion.
saying. And then Deshaun responded.
Ooh.
He said, let me see here. Every time I step on the field, I've just got to be able to go out there and play confident football, go out there and do my job at the highest ability. That's his perspective. I played against Jonathan Allen multiple times within college and in the NFL. But at the same time, when I step on the field, I am confident, and I just want to go out there and just try to play the best football I can play. He said, you could say I was trying to do too much, trying to make the big plays, trying to create things where I didn't need to create things. But at the same time, it was just the flow of the game and how the game kind of goes. They got up on us fast. We were trying to get back in the game. Then, of course, they note in the article, Watson ranked 28th in the NFL in quarterback rating with a 74.4. I actually thought it would have been lower than that, to be honest with you.
I don't know where he got that rating.
That must just be the traditional quarterback rating, right?
Which is just...
I know. It's hard to take it seriously.
Yeah.
By the way, going back to the Davante Adams for 1 second, with Aiden O'Connell at the helm last year, in 3 of the last 4 games, maybe he's pro this quarterback switch because he had 8 for 101 and a touchdown against the Chargers, 13 for 126 and 2 touchdowns against Indy, 5 for 46 and a touchdown against Denver. So he actually had pretty good numbers when Aiden O'Connell was throwing the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he'll be more open to playing for the Raiders with O'Connell instead of Minshew. I don't know.
So obviously the sexy matchup, I think Jay said he thinks this could be the best game of the year. The Ravens and Commanders set for, it's a 1 o'clock start, right, Valdez?
Correct.
I think so.
1 p.m.
I think we said yesterday some of the tickets, the lowest price tickets were like $300.
We know that networks wanted to flex it, but CBS gave them the Kembe. So no, we're not giving up this game.
Yeah, the game's too sexy.
Yep.
For that, I know I did Grant and Danny's show yesterday, and at the end they kind of asked me, what do I think for Sunday? And I got to tell you, I started the week thinking like 5%, 10%.
Mm-hmm.
I'm up closer to like 30, 40. Like,
well, you're right at the ESPN matchup predictor.
Yeah.
Yes, they're right around 34, 35%.
I mean, maybe even I'm inching towards 50-50.
Oh, you're close to a coin flip?
I mean, I don't know, right? Because
Joe Burrow just threw 5 touchdown passes against them, and Washington has a prolific offense.
I don't know what's going on with their pass defense, Valdez. You know better than me. I don't know what it is. It's a new coordinator. I don't know. They got a bunch of new guys back there. I don't know what it is. It's old guys. I don't know.
Marcus Williams is playing pretty slow. I mean, they basically have the same personnel as they did last year, except that you have a new coordinator.
And so they're playing a different style.
Jay
said they're not playing as physical.
Well, it's hard to play physical when they're throwing a lot, and that's kind of a finesse game instead of trying to run it down the Ravens' throat. Mm-hmm. But Marcus Williams is kind of a liability at safety. Like I said, they didn't really lose anybody.
If they have a rookie. Wiggins is a rookie, correct?
Yeah, but he literally probably been the best corner.
Yeah. So their best is their rookie.
I saw they're bringing back Dean Pease as an advisor to the defense.
Brandon Stevens has sticky coverage, but he doesn't really have ball skill. And Marlon Humphrey has ball skill, but he's kind of slow.
Mm-hmm.
But Dean Pease was brought in as a consultant who coached Zach Orr when he was a Raven. So hopefully that helps. But they literally have the same personnel. The only people they lost were Queen, Stone, and Darby, and Clowney. And they weren't that significant.
Where did they rank pass defense-wise last year?
Well, I mean, total defense, I think they were second or third in the entire league.
Yeah. So, obviously a drop-off there, but still stout against the run, right? Are they 1 or 2? Are they up there against the run?
I think they're 1.
So I watched Jayden's presser yesterday. I don't know if any of you guys watch it. And, again, I'm just blown away by the guy, how just calm he is, poised. He doesn't even seem to really – he's, like, respectful, but he can't wait to get off that podium. I mean, imagine what a pain in the ass that is to have to do. Does he only have to do that once a week, or does he have to do that every day?
think it's a once a week where you have
once
to
a week
do
for
it
him,
as a
but like
quarterback.
Quinn does it like every day. It seems like, it just seems like a pain in the ass. But they asked him, playing the Ravens and their, stout run defense, et cetera. Is it going to be more about like, how you attack them and what they're doing, or is it just going to be more what you do? And I think he said the right answer. And he said, no, it's just I don't really concern myself with the weekly opponents. Like they're all good, and we're just going to do what we do, and respond.
Last year, the Ravens, by the way, finished 6th in the league in yards allowed per game through the air. Okay?
Right, so markedly better.
And this year, they're next to last.
Yeah,
so
markedly better. So
I saw a TikTok clip of the virtual reality that Jayden uses.
Yeah, somebody sent me that.
And it was pretty interesting that you can just plug in the opponent's defense and plays. So you can put on the virtual reality set and want to say, I want to see Ravens cover 2. And then you would simulate whatever play you want. And apparently Cliff Kingsbury has spoken out all of the calls. So he could basically simulate. Cliff gives him a play. He goes to the line. He sees the defense. And then he figures out how to attack it.
Yeah, it's pretty sick.
Yeah.
Pretty sick. And obviously it's working, right? It must be helping
Works for him.
Must be working, must be helping him. I don't know, man. My opinion is changing as we're getting closer and closer to game time here, Cakes. I'm not going to be distraught if we lose. It's a great team that we're playing. But, man, I got to tell you, I'm starting to feel like we have a real shot in this game.
You're feeling it.
I feel like
feeling yourself.
Well, I just feel like we have a real shot, which it's just hard for me to imagine. This is what I said to Grant and Danny yesterday. Remember, it was just a month ago where the offense was like lackluster.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I had no concerns about Jayden, but they just weren't asking him to do much. He was just doing the little bubble screen stuff, like a million of them. And then the defense was atrocious.
Right.
It was just a month ago. If we were ranked 30, 31, 32 in the power rankings. Now, so it's hard for me to wrap my brain around it. I don't know if fans are.
I think part of it is they played a really bad opponent in Cleveland, which made them look better. Now they played
but this
better
like 3
against
weeks
Arizona.
In a row. We've scored like 120 points.
I know, but
last 3 games.
I just think you're facing a different level of offense when it comes to the Ravens.
No doubt.
Like they're not holding the Ravens to like 13 or 14 points.
No,
like that's not happening.
I don't see it. What's been their lowest output this year, the Ravens?
20 against the Chiefs?
Yeah.
Was that the opener?
Yeah.
Yeah, they scored 20, then they scored 23 in the loss to the Raiders, and since in the wins, 28, 35, 41.
The problem is what they're really, really good at, running the football, is really, I think, our biggest Achilles heel.
Right.
Even as much as the secondary has issues, I think it's safe to say that stopping the run's even worse.
Got to keep the ball away from them.
So I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what you're going to do.
What's the over-under?
Now you got me thinking negative again.
What's the over-under on rushing yardage for Lamar plus Derrick Henry?
180.
200.
Yeah.
180. Yeah, it's probably pretty close.
Do you want the actual prop number?
Sure.
Yeah, whatever that is.
Why, there is one for
I think
both?
between
or you're just going to combine
I'm just going to
both?
combine them.
All right.
Yeah. Let me look that up in a sec.
185, 190.
Did you see that JD? I don't know if you mentioned this yet. JD didn't want to be compared to Lamar Jackson.
Yes.
He doesn't like that.
Listen, yeah, it was kind of interesting. And I get it. He probably doesn't want to be compared to Robert, all these guys. He goes, I just want to be Jayden Daniels. I just want to be my best version of myself. But he did acknowledge that, when as a fan, he watches all these guys. He watches Lamar. He watches Mahomes. He works out in the offseason with C.J. Stroud and other guys in the league. And they talk and they say how they attack certain defenses or how they made certain plays. But he doesn't, he does get annoyed by the comparison. Yeah. But I will say, I think the RG3 comparison is borderline insulting. I understand it.
That's the third time it's come up.
The Lamar comparison, though, I think is more valid.
Right.
Hey, all right, here you go.
Yeah.
Lamar and Derrick Henry, rushing yard props, total. Any guesses?
I said 180.
Not even close. Sorry. 138.
Ooh.
They'll go way over.
Probably going to go
over.
Way.
They do have that?
Yeah. 82.5 for Henry, and Lamar's at 55.5.
But can you do the both together? No.
Combine them? No.
Well, I guess you could parlay it or something.
You can parlay it.
Yeah.